Hey, good morning, guys. It's Jermaine here. A bit of a freelance type podcast whilst I go for a little walk, take in some nature, enjoy the nice weather, prepare for the day. So I was having a discussion yesterday, and the topic was, what is the key thing that we need to have in place, almost like the key piece of advice that we'd give ourselves, that we need to have in place for the pending financial challenges that the world is currently facing. You know, in England this week we had the announcement of our autumn statement, and basically all it said was everybody's going to get a lot poorer, not much you can do about it, strap in, wait for the bumpy ride. And when thinking about it, I think there are two things that really jump out. So the one is on the importance of your credit rating and your credit score, Whilst on the surface it's not necessarily the obvious choice, my thinking about why that credit score is so important is because that is your number one indicator of financial health. It's almost like if you go for a job, you've got a CV. When you go and apply for finance, or you go and apply for any kind of lending decision, which includes things like cars, mobile phone contracts, mortgages, any of these things, you've got your credit score, right? So it's a fundamental number in your life and existence. So for you as a human being, when you go and interact with the world, with businesses, to make decisions of varying sizes, some of which can be small, some of which will be quite big, you need that credit score. Now, what often happens in recessions, in really tough financial situations, is credit dries up. So people, banks, lend less. So if you're in a situation where you do not know what the future holds, what you arguably want to try to make sure you do is to be as creditworthy as possible. And what that will do for you is it means that if the unexpected happens, if something beyond your control and beyond your foresight happens, you will have a way of maybe securing credit that will help you. So your credit score is not necessarily about what you need to borrow right now, what you need to do right now. It can be a way of giving you options if the unexpected happens. And that's my big personal belief. Protect that credit score at all costs, build it sensibly, build it knowledgeably, build it skillfully, and have the awareness that when you have it, what you are using it for is not just for what you know you need to do now, but in a big way is to have the options to protect yourself in the event of something unexpected happening. It's a really cool safety net. And your credit score is not just that random number. It includes things like having enough available credit. It includes things like having enough buffer. It includes things like having enough space that if you needed to go and put something on a card, or if you needed to go and do a money transfer or something like this, or a balance transfer, it's having the option to do it. A big problem for many people right now, whilst they are perfectly sensible and reasonable in how they look after their money, they don't actually have many options. So by losing options, they really make life a lot harder for themselves, and it's a shame. And it's one thing that we can consciously work against. Look, through the question on avoidingbroke.com, our website, I've written my 13, I think I ended up at 13 key tactics to improve the credit score. I consider myself a very aware credit score builder, and so if you just check out the website, you'll see 13 broken out tactics. Anybody can use them. My history and experience is that it absolutely guarantees improving your score over time, but that's my personal experience. That's not advice. It's saying that's my personal experience. But if it's not something you're currently doing, then just give it some thought. I would just spend some time, check it out, and see about giving yourself some more options. It doesn't matter how well you think you're doing. The most adept financiers and financial minds always make sure that they've got options. I think the second point that really jumps out now is around margin of safety, you know? And for me, in margin of safety, I'm really talking about how much money you're just keeping in cash just in case something random happens. I've been studying a lot of the wealthiest people in the world recently. I've been doing it for a while, but I've been doing it very deliberately recently with the question of how much money are they keeping in cash? That was a bit loud. The reason that question's been so important is because obviously cash is looked at unfavourably as an asset to keep your money in. But I was very keen to see what the wealthiest people in the world are doing right now, because it's not always the case that you shouldn't keep cash, not at all. It's a very more nuanced discussion, a very more nuanced decision. Well, look, what's happening now from what I'm seeing is many of them are keeping their money in cash. It's as much a decision to look and say, do we have the cash in case markets fall and we can get some good bargains, as it is to say there is nothing appealing to go and put our money into right now, so we're better off having money in cash because that helps us sleep easily. Because no matter what happens, cash gives you the opportunity to move quickly and flexibly without having to liquidate anything, without having to complicate anything, without having to slow anything down. So it becomes a very useful tool for your margin of safety, for you giving yourself a lot of financial comfort. And I think that's going to be a big prevailing thought, you know, increasing the amount of cash that we have, especially making the choice, the opportunity cost, right? Making the choice to keep cash as opposed to putting our money into, you know, index funds or bonds or property or, you know, crypto, whatever it may be. So those are the two key things in my mind. Get that credit score really, really in good shape. Give yourself some financial options. Just improve how appealing you look on paper and improve how many options and choices you've got. Second, look at your financial margin of safety. Think about whether or not you've got enough cash for what you can perceive. Then challenge yourself to say, well, if I wanted to sleep really easily and not have to worry and have a lot of options, how much more cash may I hold versus something else? You know, we'd love to know what you think. We'd love to know where you get to. And as ever, hope this video has been useful for you. All right, guys, I'm going to go back to this beautiful morning walk, enjoy nature, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.